You are now listening to Femme Regard Podcast with Tessa Markle
and Carolina Alvarez.
Femme.
Okay. Ready, Tessa?
All right.
What intro are you doing today?
Oh yeah. Should I do another accent?
You should do like, can you give us, okay, wait, guys, what accent should she do it in? We told her that we would have to test her acting skills.
Well, like Scottish, because I'm so bad at Scottish.
Oh God.
You need something that's really hard.
Yeah, I was gonna say I like studied that, and I don't even know if I could do that.
I don't think I could do. I'm trying to think like even what it sounds like. I'm like
Right?
Irish,
Scottish.
English, but Scottish.
Welcome back, Femme friends.
Carolina, I think you should intro this one with the Scottish accent.
Wait, what do you always say? Welcome back. So, friends, welcome back to. I can't.
No, but it's fun. It's fun. Do it. Okay, ready?
I'm trying. I have to. I'm starting to sound like something else. Hold on. I walked 500 miles and 500 more. Welcome back, Femme friends, to season. Okay, no, I don't. I'm sounding like something else.
That's okay. That's all right. That's our intro, guys. We promised you accents. We didn't promise they'd be good.
I can't do it.
There was commitment there.
There was. I appreciate y'all.
Yeah.
Now, hey guys, we're on the show today via Zoom. Today we have two special guests. Tessa, introduce them. Let's go.
So before I introduce the guests, I want to say how we got introduced to the guests, because this is a little TBT to season, was that last? No, 2 seasons ago, right?
I'd say 3.
Yeah, season 3. Ellie Wells, the creator of Eagle Rock, if you guys remember her. And she hooked us up with Paige Henderson and Nicole Murray here today. Paige actually played Alex in Eagle Rock, the short. And then Nicole, you're attached to a major role in the feature, correct?
Yes.
And then Ellie told us about Dead Friends, which I realized I was following, I think it was your Instagram, right? Before I even like knew about you guys creating that. So I had already heard about the series. I was like, oh, that's so cool. This looks so fun. So I actually sat down and watched it all. And listeners, it is so funny. You guys definitely have to check it out. Dead Friends on YouTube.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, what do you guys want to introduce the web series? I mean, any further as to why you guys started, or is it, it's a comedy fun skit? That's what I've been seeing it as, and where else people can watch it.
So it's a supernatural buddy comedy that you can find on YouTube right now. You do the punchline really well, Paige.
So it's about this girl named Mel who moves in with her new roommate Keely, and Keely's obsessed with this guy she knows that died. She's convinced that they're in love and dating, even though he's dead. And Mel is like, I moved to the wrong place. Until the dead guy appears to Mel and is like, yo, dude, you got to help me. That girl's obsession is stopping my soul from moving on in the afterlife. Wackiness ensues.
We were joking around before, guys. We got this session started that they were Paige and Nicole are telling us that they had moved to LA and became roommates. And I was like, oh, is that what inspired the web series? One of y'all moved in with each other and we're like, this girl's a psycho. Is this based on real life?
It's reversed. Paige is the psycho.
Oh.
Good to know.
Good to know. All truth comes out. We spilled the tea here on the show. Like, we're no joke, guys.
No, but actually it's kind of, we were joking around in our old apartment because like a dish towel would fall down and we'd be like, oh, thank you, ghosty friend, whoever you are. Yeah, I wanted to dry my hands.
It was definitely haunted. And so we figured like might as well make homies with the ghosts,
Yeah.
So
Absolutely. No, I swear, like every apartment in LA is haunted, like guaranteed.
Yeah.
There's some weird crap here. No joke.
A lot of broken dreams.
Yeah, broken hearts of people.
Totally.
They're actually still haunted by people still alive. It's just they're like
no, for real. No, because it's such a unique plot. I've never seen anything like that.
And was this the first thing that you guys created, I guess, together and separately, or have you guys mostly just been acting before that, or?
So we've done. I had done like a few, just like I did film studies, but it was comparative literature film studies in college. So it wasn't really production based. So I did like a few shorts that are so film student shorts.
We hear you on that.
Yeah, trying to be like French New Wave or whatever, and it's ridiculous. Nobody will ever see them. So I'd done like a little bit, and then we did one short that was just like I wrote it, and then we shot it in our old apartment with our one friend who's a DP, Ben Slavens, Undead Friends as well. And it was just us and him, and we just spent like 14 hours one night shooting this thing, and
till 5 a.m.
Yeah, till 5 a.m. And so we had done that, but we had never done like anything actually like a bigger production. And when we first started writing Dead Friends, we were just writing it to just create more content, or for ourselves, cast ourselves as actors. And we literally thought it was just going to be us and Ben again, like maybe a sound person. But as we started writing it more and more, we like really fell in love with the characters and the story and everything, and came up with these ridiculous ideas that needed a little bit more. And so we wanted to like do the story justice and actually fully produce it.
Nice. And I love that too, that it's like really good quality. Like it looks super professional, and you don't always get that with web series. A lot of people are like, oh, I'm just going to make something to put on the internet and it's fine. It doesn't have to be great. But like you guys really put the work in and it shows. And I love that, because also web series are becoming like way bigger than they ever used to be, Like, sure, people have been on YouTube as like influencers or whatever for a long time, but like actual web series, I think are really picking up. I mean, new media in general, whatever that means on whatever platform, is really becoming the new thing. So yeah, it's awesome to see you guys do that and put all that effort in.
Thanks. I mean, we kept hearing, create your own content.
Yeah.
How do you get by? You create your own content.
Yeah.
And we both
the dangers of recording from home.
Tell our listeners why you decided to create your own content, and then why a web series platform. Like what brought the two together that I think web series is the way to go, because a lot of people you got to figure out what space is going to fit your show and your style the best. So you want to speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, yeah, we had kept hearing create your own content. That's something we really wanted to do. Also, as I feel like anybody in LA would know, it's kind of, there's like long latent periods as an actor before you're like cast in some things. And so we're like, now's the chance for us to make our own and make the kind of role we would want to be. And so I apparently want to be a psycho. So we did that. And along the way, we were kind of like, well, the strong thing with a web series, web series as a strong medium comes in the fact that you can do these really cool, like quick, fast, fun, little episodes. And at each point you have this like fun little cliffhanger, and you can get away with like, we cuss in it, you can get away with some of that. You can have like more freedom to play and to be silly and weird. And as a lot of people say, we're pretty weird in it. So it worked out for that.
Yeah, I think we also really enjoyed writing in an episodic
format, right?
Yeah, that was a really fun thing that neither of us had done before. And I mean, like with any medium, there's, challenges, and there's challenges in it, and there's also some stuff that like really shines in it. And so that was we found that to be, a writing style that we really enjoyed for the story that we were telling.
Yeah. Speak on that. Did you kind of, as each episode progressed, you just write as you go for the next one, or do you actually know like ahead of time, okay, this is where the whole episodic series is going to end? How does that process work for you?
Yeah. So we kind of had, we figure out where the whole season is going, like what the whole season looks like. And then we go and we write the episodes in order. We write everything together. When we first were doing this, it was just us two in our old apartment, and we would literally like make coffee dates and go to Civil Coffee on Fig in Highland Park and write, because that way we were out of our apartment and we treated it like a business meeting with anybody else in the business, where we wouldn't just cancel last minute or, like that's how we knew we were going to be able to get it done. So once we had the whole season vaguely planned out, like the big points, we would go through and kind of say the big points of what happened in each episode. And then we'd start writing the episodes in order. And before we wrote the episode, we would have an outline and get more specific on the episode. And then we would write. And every time when we were writing, like more stuff would come up and it would change. But that's kind of how we did it. And then once we finished episode 1, we'd go to episode 2 and do that same thing. And then obviously a lot of edits and rewrites along the way.
I love that. I love that you guys like really like made it a meeting. You went like out of your house to get it done. Like I don't know. I'm a person that I can work from home. I don't get super distracted, but I know a lot of people are like hating working from home right now. They can't like concentrate, but even if you can work from home, it's nice to really feel like, hey, I'm going to this meeting, even if it literally is just both you guys going to a coffee shop to write instead of doing it at home,
Totally. And I'm sure you guys get this too, where having another person to hold you accountable and whose time you're respecting and all of that really helps propel you through.
Yeah.
So I think like the partnership was really key in it too.
Yeah.
I respected that partnership.
Yeah, definitely finished this like so much faster than I finished anything else. Myself.
It's true. And we're writing season 2 currently, and we're like flying through it.
Yeah.
We were surprised by, even though we did the first season, we flew through 2. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
We keep being like, whoa, we're already done with that episode. Look at that.
That's awesome.
Well, that's, as you get in the groove of something, I feel like naturally you just get better and you get faster, and you guys are now really in sync. So your styles are probably all in sync, and you're just almost become like one brain. I feel like, is that kind of how it feels at times? Like you guys can almost see and feel where the other one's going, or is it like someone's here and someone's over there all the time?
I feel like it's a little bit of both,
Mm-hmm.
because with Dead Friends, because we've created this whole other world that have all of these laws and rules that we came up with, and we're like, okay, what is a spirit? What is the interaction between the living world and the spirit world? All of this stuff that has taken, and that's actually why we're still writing season 2, because the first figuring out some of the new laws took us so long, because it's like so heady kind of. And that's the moment where we really like, a lot of times have different ideas that we're trying to figure out how to mesh together, or like which one's which. And it's not ever like arguing. It's like just figuring out what this world looks like, because we don't really know. But then when we're writing, once we figure it out, when we're writing, I feel like it's pretty...
We're going in the same direction.
Easier. Yeah.
Because we've already figured out those basic foundations.
Yeah, we talked about that on our show, I think last season, about shooting the world and figuring that part out. It's kind of, you have to know that before you can really get into the whole story and the script, because the audience isn't stupid. Like they'll feel it if something is like off or didn't align right with what you had started with in the beginning. So it's
totally
super important. And I love to hear you guys talk about that, because it's a big aspect to screenwriting and script writing, that whole section, and takes time. And
that's why like things like show Bibles exist, I think too, it's like, if you're creating this world where there are specific rules to like physical being and stuff that are different from our world, it's stuff you got to keep track of and remember when you're writing.
Totally. Yeah. We try to be so good about that, because like you said, the audience isn't stupid. And I mean, we all know, even huge TV shows, they sometimes do something where you're like, that doesn't make sense with what you said last season. Okay, right. Sure. You're just going to think we're all idiots. So we like try not to do that. But even still on set, the guy who plays Chris, Jacob Osborne, he's awesome. He's awesome, but he's also a little, can I swear on this? I'm a little
Yeah, yeah.
He's a little asshole because he always like there were a couple of lines and they were normally like jokes or something.
Mhm.
They weren't big plot points, but where we didn't mess up something with the laws of the world, and we'd be like, he'd be in his makeup chair and I'd walk past him like, Paige, I have a question. Like, oh yeah, what? So how does this make any sense? Because if she can't see me there, then why? And we're always just like, Jacob, you just shut the fuck up, please. Just do your job.
Just ignore that.
Ignore it.
Yeah.
There's always a moment we like didn't even notice too, and it was too late to change. So we're like, okay.
Yeah. Well, we're
that
doing
day.
it now. I mean, that's the thing about indie filmmaking, right? Sometimes you realize like, oh, that was a mistake. But you know what? We just got to keep moving on. Like,
yeah.
Or if it was already filmed and he calls back to it, it's like, well, here we
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
Such a fun process.
Hey, Femme. How many of you are podcasters yourself or interested in keeping up with the rapidly growing podcast world?
There's so much to learn and keep up with, but we have just the way to do it.
Join the PodMov community. We get their daily newsletter delivered to our inbox, connect through the private Facebook group, and are even featured in their June 15th, 2020 issue.
They even have a huge annual summit for podcasters to network, learn, and perfect their craft.
If you're not convinced yet, just subscribe and try it out anyway, because guess what? It's free and you can unsubscribe at any time.
Use this link so they know we sent you. Don't worry, I'll read it off now, but we'll also type it out in our show notes for you to copy and paste. And it is podcastmovement.com/subscribe MWR =2EFF8BBA.
We'll see you in the Facebook group, or even better, at the summit.
like with web series, even though like I said, you guys have like great production quality and it's super professional, I think that as a medium kind of allows a little forgiveness too. You know what I mean? Like people understand that a lot of times it's you guys filming in your home, like with your friends or whatever, so that's I think that's a really cool thing about web series too.
Oh, for sure. And it was so great too. Like everybody was so awesome on set. We had such a great like cast and crew, and everybody collaborated so nicely together. And we were filming in our house, but they like made it work. We had like our certain makeup section. Poor Rachel, she was awesome. Our makeup artist.
Mm-hmm.
She had to move her makeup station like every day, sometimes twice a day, because we're filming in the living room and then we're filming out back. And then, so she, everybody like gave us that leeway and also helped supported it and helped make us our quality and everything about what we were doing so much better. So that was really awesome.
It's also really fun shooting comedy.
Mm-hmm.
So fun.
Yeah.
And it's such a good energy I love drama too, but it was just, we shot the first 2 episodes as proof of concept over 3 days, 2 Octobers ago. And then we shot the rest of the season over 8 days. So it was kind of like, it's kind of like camp when you're, like a lot of the film sets are, when you're with people. But when it's a comedy, it's just like such a good energy. And yeah.
No, I love that. You guys were like, oh, we're psychos. No, they're really funny, guys. This is definitely a comedy, and I love the characters. Like it looks like you're having fun playing those roles, and so it's fun for us to watch, if that makes sense. Like that makes it enjoyable too. Yeah.
I think too, like writing comedy I personally think it's a lot more difficult, but I think it's also something that you can really like know when you can be proud of yourself, if that makes sense. Because like with drama, it's like, okay, is the whole story good? But with comedy, it's like, is that joke funny? Is that joke funny? Like I just did a script reading for a friend of mine, and she was like, okay, you guys have to tell me, like, are these jokes funny? Because I make myself laugh, but I need to know that I'm going to make you guys laugh,
Yeah.
Well, that's something we discovered along the way too, was like how different everyone's humor is. And we were like, well, good thing we have a really similar sense of humor, but then also we hope we can bring in parts that make everybody laugh. You bring in that really physical comedy, and you bring in those jokes and the witty writing and
super witty writing.
Right. Yeah. We're also full of ourselves.
You kind of have to be in this business though, right? I mean, come on.
No, but that is something that's really interesting. Always there were multiple lines or moments that I didn't even think were funny, and I didn't even think we really wrote as a joke. And then even in the table read, like 5 people laughed, and I'm like, "What? What are you? Okay, cool. This is a comedy." Like,
Ooh, actually, speak to that. So you guys did table reads, because I think those are so important to do before you like actually get into filmmaking. So talk to us about that.
Definitely huge. I mean, even just hearing if things sound natural.
Yeah.
Finding other people's inclinations when they're reading this for the certain character or another certain character, or just a scene, was this as heavy as we thought it was, or is it kind of like too much?
yeah, we did one table read once we completed the full season with just random actor friends of ours, and then that was it before we actually had cast the whole thing, I think.
Yeah.
But it was incredibly helpful, like Nicole said, with all that. And I think personally for me, it was especially helpful. One thing that I'm very cognizant of when I'm writing and really want to do is make dialogue that sounds like how people actually talk. Because it really annoys me. And I think it's even if you have like the best plot, even like structure super good, if you have dialogue and it doesn't even sound like how people actually talk, then there's just something that isn't going to sit with people, even if they don't realize exactly what it is. So I think for the table read, that was even the most beneficial. It's just somebody says something out loud and you're like, I don't know why it sounds weird, but it sounded weird, so I'm going to circle that line.
Do you like to sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Do you like to let your actors kind of rewrite certain things if they're like characters, the actors like kind of input? You allow them to give their input and be like, you know what, I feel it feels more natural to say it like this, or you hear it in the table read and they're like, oh, they kind of edited it. Like, are you open to that kind of collaboration, or how do you guys feel about it?
Definitely. And it happened a few times on set too. Jacob, who plays Chris, would come up to us and be like, hey, this kind of, I don't know, I'm thinking about this. And we're like, dude, yeah, that sounds awesome. We trust you as an actor. We trust you, how you are with the character. And, they would always clear it with us. And it was like, wow,
nice.
That's better. Thanks.
And also, I mean, getting people who are great at what they do, that they didn't just say the line once and they're like, it sounds weird. No, they put some effort into, sometimes an actor, you have lines that you don't, that you're like, I don't know why it doesn't feel natural to say this. And a lot of times you can figure out why they're saying it that way. And maybe there's actually a reason. And so when Jacob or Chase, who plays Fred, would come to us and say, this doesn't feel quite natural, that they put in the work and that's honest, and that, if it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, totally. Did you guys find your cast and your crew just through people that you've worked with before, that you were friends with, or how did you guys find your whole team?
Yeah, so a little bit of both. We cast Jacob and Chase just out of the blue from LA Casting, going through there, or Actors Access.
Both of them. We did like in-person auditions, and we did some in-person, some self-tapes, and then callbacks for both of those. That was both of our first time being on the other side of the casting table, which was regardless of like, even if we had never shot Dead Friends and learned everything we learned from that, even just huge. That as an actor was like huge. Being on the other side of that table. Definitely recommend to everybody pursuing acting to do that.
I mean, big thing there with Jacob was like, he was a self-tape and we
didn't even give him an in-person. We didn't like him enough to give him an in-person
right away. But he was a self-tape, and he just, he was so unique, but he also was so grounded in this character already. It stopped us. We were like, oh, hey, no. Whoa, we want him. Already, we were like, we want him.
Yeah.
It's funny how much people say it is about your essence. It really is.
Yeah. That's awesome.
I love that.
Yeah.
And then we brought on some friends, someone like Ben Slavens as our DP, and then he brought on some of his friends who were super awesome. And then we had another friend, Rachel, who did the makeup, and then
she does visual effects makeup a lot too. So she did all of the ghosts, like their blue and
Nice. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, it looked great.
And our makeup and our hair. Thank you, Rachel, for doing our hair. She's like, I'm not a hair person, but she did. So she was awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's really important for our listeners to see that you can really just within your own network, just asking around with the people that you hire, start to hire, that you really can bring together a full team and not feel like, oh my, because it can be overwhelming when you're like, okay, how am I going to get this and this and and like afford all of these things? Because it does cost but I think for on a smaller scale, you can really utilize the people you know.
Totally. And you have no idea how wide your circle actually is. Because you might be like, I do not know a sound person, that is like the one thing you need besides a camera, you know. But yeah, your friend, somebody you cast might know a sound person, or their roommate's husband's friend. That would be still your roommate, unless they're married and not living together, which is okay. It's fine if that's
could be the case.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
a lot of friends of friends, and that's how we found a lot of people. Like our producer Fong, he's friends with our friend Chris. Yeah, just awesome. Like, you already have like a certain amount of trust too, kind of going in, and then you can jump in with these people.
Yeah,
and that's one of the really great parts about, again, regardless of like having an outcome or anything, but I mean, and the process is so fun and amazing. You learn so much, but also just meeting so many people. I mean, Adam Van Dyke, who was our scriptee in the second time that we did it, and he was a friend of our producer Fong's, and neither of us knew him, and he was just like really helping us out. And now he's a good friend of ours, and I've been in a short of his. We're going to be in another short of his. He has a horror production company that we just made like a short horror film for.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
No, congrats. That's really big when you can. That's a big win. Like,
totally.
It's not all about like, you know, winning the final film festival medal or whatever. It's like these are the kind of wins that I think, especially as an independent filmmaker, like we love and like live for. You know, it's that connection, like being able to continue to create. Like it's just like that snowball effect that happens. It's really nice. So congrats to that.
Thanks. Yeah. Thanks. Like being able to surround yourself by inspiring people, because everybody that we work with is also, you know, independent, going after it. So just seeing their hustle too is always inspiring and lights a fire in us as well. So
they made us better.
Yeah. You only get better as you continue to do it.
Yeah.
So for your kind of goals with the web series, so you're going to be writing season 2. Is there anything else you guys are aiming for with it other than, you know, a big deal, network deal, of course?
Yeah, that's probably the main thing, right?
Yeah.
You know, we think it would be great as a fully formed TV show. You know, totally see it on like Hulu.
Totally.
Yeah.
Hulu, are you listening? Hulu.
We'll hashtag them. We'll tag them.
Yeah.
They'll be like, what? I'll be like, yeah, listen in. Got it.
Check us out, bro. Yeah, that, and like, I mean, it was just such a huge learning experience for us to continue to go on as creators with our production company too. So, you know, whether or not it's with Dead Friends still or another film, another series, whatever, we've been inspired. We've been bit by the creation bug.
Yeah.
Love it.
Started as just making something for us to act in. Now it's, you know, a lot more.
Oh my God, hashtag me too. Us too.
Which is so cool, isn't it? When you
like Tessa and I met on a web series shoot. Well, we didn't meet there. We met in an acting class, but we really got to know each other doing a web series shoot. Like, so, and that's how we realized, and here we are, Femme Regard. Hello.
Yes.
It's awesome.
It is awesome. So, you know, listeners out there, you might think, why would I want to participate in a web series? No, it's huge to build yourself as an actor, as a creator, filmmaker, and all the people, the wonderful people that you get to work with. It can be lifelong relationships or partnerships.
Yeah.
Such
Totally.
as Tessa and I, which we're #both. So
That's so cool.
Yeah. Well, to wrap up, so we told the listeners where they can find Dead Friends on YouTube. Do you guys want to share your social media or anything for yourselves individually or as the company for our listeners to find you guys and follow you?
Yeah. You can we also have a website. It's like sometimes easiest just go to YouTube for Dead Friends, but we also have a website that's either deadfriendswebseries.com or if you type in heyghostdude.com.
Love it.
I love that.
You can see more. There's a little bit more on there, like bios, press. So this will be up on there as well.
Also, you can find our Instagram at deadfriends_webseries, and we're on Facebook, LinkedIn.
Maybe I should LinkedIn.
No, we feel
like,
the
I'll
same.
pull the same.
We're the same. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's just throw them all out there. I don't know.
You're everywhere.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, ladies, so much for coming on today. And thank you, listeners, for tuning in. We will see you next time.
Thanks for listening to Femme Regard Podcast. If you like what you hear, tune in next time for more tips on the filmmaking business and insightful conversations with industry professionals over tea.
We can only grow with your support, so please subscribe, share, rate, and give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcast. If you leave us a great comment, we might give you a shout out on the show. For more on us, check us out at femregard.com.